MMA's not exactly a team sport, but it's great to see a couple of athletes discover a wholesome synergy while some just fall off. In this video, we will chalk out the worst and also the best MMA duos. Colby Covington and Jorge Masvidal. Well, this duo seems like a story taken out of a novel or a movie script. Covington and Masvidal go way back, way back. The two were there for one another at the very beginning of their fight careers, and really, they complemented one another well. Colby excelled as a wrestler, but his striking wasn't up to the mark. On the other side, Jorge has always been a powerful striker without a wrestling background. The two would train together, live together, and climb UFC ranks together by improving each other's game. They went as far as calling one another best friends. However, Covington pulled a page from the WWE and turned heel in Brazil at UFC Fight Night 119. From insulting everyone on site to chucking out bizarre nicknames including Street Judas, Jorge Masvidal, many thought that this beef was fake and was a good way for Masvidal and Covington to draw some attention and grab a fat paycheck. And though they did get that payday, the beef was still there. Speaking of beef, let's take it back to a moment outside a steakhouse in Miami. Anyone that doubted the validity of their feud couldn't question it anymore after Masvidal sucker punched Colby while he was out grabbing a bite with the Nelk boys. Tyron Woodley and Ben Askren. Prior to the Jake Paul saga, both Tyron Woodley and Ben Askren were seen as the power duo. Ben joined the UFC in 2019, which also served as the worst year for them. They may have spent a short amount of time together at the promotion, but it's important to note that their energy was infectious and downright wholesome. Woodley and Askren famously tag-teamed Kamaru Usman at the UFC 235 press conference. That very card was the one that marked the beginning of the end for Woodley's career and was the only success that Askren would find in the organization. This eventually led to the 5 seconds of hell for the funky one. But hey, titles come and go, but friends are forever. Unless it's Jorge and Colby, that's toast. Joanna and Carolina Kowalkiewicz. Though things started out rough between Joanna and Carolina, and I mean rough, the two were able to become a duo we didn't know we needed, but we're glad to have. The two had a lot in common early on in their careers. They both wanted to be champions. They both have incredibly hard to spell last names. However, the similarities came in the way of them becoming friends. The two went to war in a fan-friendly fight that's definitely worth a rewatch. Joanna came out on top, closing out the rivalry. Over time, the two started training together, and Joanna actually helped Carolina improve and aided her in breaking her losing streak. When Joanna retired, Carolina took to social media to say that she was always number 2 in this sport, but she's glad to be number 2 to someone such as Joanna, which is heartwarming stuff. Hamza and Darren Till. Though Darren Till and Mike Perry never gave us the fight we all wanted to see, we still got to see one of our favorite Scousers lad it up, but with an even more unexpected buddy than Perry. Enter Hamza, one of the most dominating force in the UFC right now. The two took to training together after Chimaev called Till out on his lack of wrestling savvy style. Till, being the humble man, agreed to join forces and move to Sweden. After the initial training session, the Smash Bros have seemingly become inseparable. The two have done multiple interviews together, stolen drinks from the UFC PI, scared the ever-living crap out of Michael Bisping, and almost got in backstage brawls together at UFC 279. You know, normal best friend stuff. Paddy Pimblett and Molly McCann. Here we have two more of our favorite Scousers, Paddy Pimblett and Molly McCann. They're probably the best thing to happen to the UFC since Conor McGregor. Pimblett has had some steam on his name for quite some time, and he's only parlayed that hype into a lot more by scoring finishes. Molly didn't quite have the same level of pre-UFC push, but she'd be damned if she didn't get the attention she deserved after Paddy the Baddy arrived. 2022 isn't even over yet, and UFC Fight Night 204 might still be a lock for best event of the year in London. Molly McCann went from winning a fight via spinning back elbow to meeting the bottom of a bottle of Howler Head in about 30 minutes flat. She set the stage for Paddy, who got the job done with a first round rear naked choke. Later in the year, Meatball scored yet another spinning back elbow, a people's elbow if you will, sorry Rock. while Paddy secured a submission finish. Despite the hiccup against Erin Blanchfield, Molly will remain a fan favorite as a member of UFC's beloved duo. Daniel Cormier and Habib Nurmagomedov. Training partners, homies, good pals, friends, a power duo. Words can't do justice to the special bond that Habib and Daniel Cormier share. These two aren't just training partners or friends, they're brothers. And yes, we know that the Dagestani dudes throw out that word brother a lot, but this one is the real deal. A young Habib Nurmagomedov joined Team AKA with nothing but a video of Bruce Buffer announcing him as communication. Daniel Cormier took the Eagle under his wing and taught him how to speak English amongst the fighting stuff. Nurmagomedov learned how to trash talk as he began to throw out nasty one-liners. Videos of the two backstage or in the gym are pure comedy gold and the best entertainment fans can get out of UFC fighters out of the actual work they do in the cage.